While Joshua was there near Jericho, he looked up and saw right in front of him a man standing holding his drawn sword. No, I'm not sure you read that. A man standing holding what? Let's rush to chapter 6 in verse 2. What he said to Joshua. And he said unto Joshua, see, I have given into thy hand what? Jericho. I have given into thy hand. Jericho. Now, in chapter 5, what was in his hand? What did he say was now in Joshua's hand? Jericho. So the sword in his hand is the Jericho in Joshua's hand. There are too many persons who want Jericho in their hand, but they've not seen the sword in the hand of their captain. Pastor, break this thing further down. Do you remember when Apostle Paul begins to tell us about the armor of Christ? And then he speaks about the sword of the Spirit. And he calls the sword of the Spirit what? The word of God. And so, sir, if I can see what the word is saying, if I can hold on to what the word of God is saying, I will not fight for Jericho. Let me say to you, the sword that works is not the sword you have, it's the sword that you've drawn. When he met this captain, the captain's sword was not in the sheath. The devil doesn't mind you're carrying the sword, but as far as the sword is not drawn, it's still in the sheath. So this is the reason why sometimes you know a lot of word, but when you face situation, the word does not make sense to you again. That word is now in the sheath. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him from them. Draw that sword. Draw that sword. Draw the sword. Don't put the sword in the sheath, because the sword in the hand of the captain is Jericho in my hands. There are too many people, Lord, put Jericho in my hand. And the Lord said, do you see the sword that is drawn? Have you checked on the drawn sword? The drawn sword in my hand will be the Jericho in your hand. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom. By two immutable things it is impossible for God to. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but no iota of the word of God will ever. The word of God is quick and powerful, sharper than any two-edged. Somebody shout, say, I draw my sword. And you shout it louder, say, I draw my sword. If you believe it, shout fire. Shout fire.